Hi, so we're going to talk about how to simplify rational expressions. So we're going to start off with just understanding how it works with numbers so that we can eventually do it with variables. So when I think about 12/16, I notice they're both even, and I notice that they're both multiples of 4. So I could think about 12/16 as 4 times 3, and I could think about 16 as 4 times 4. We know that any number divided by itself is 1, so if I have 4 things and divide them into 4 equal groups, I have 1 in each group. So anytime we see something being divided by itself, we know that's the same thing as just 1. So that's why 12/16 reduces to 3/4. Now let's apply that idea with this one over here. X to the third minus 5x squared minus 24x divided by x to the third plus x squared minus 72x. So what we're looking for is what are the common factors, because are there any that duplicate in the numerator and the denominator that will divide out to 1? So what I noticed about this top expression is that they all have an x in it. So I can thinking about it as x times something, and that if I were to distribute that, I would get an x in each one of these groups. So if I distributed it to x squared minus 5x minus 24, that means the same thing, but I'm rewriting it in my factored form. All right, for x squared minus 5x minus 24, we can factor that using everything that we know about quadratics. So what numbers multiply to negative 24, and that when they add up, I'll get negative 5. So I know I have 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. So then I think about which one of these would work in some way to get 5, and my eyes are drawn to 3 and 8. So 3 and 8. So when I just have them positive, I have an 8x and a 3x. But I know one of them has to be negative in order to multiply to a negative 24. If I'm trying to get negative 5x, I want it to be 3 minus 8. So it's that 8 that's negative. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this expression as x minus 8 times x plus 3. So this whole thing can be rewritten as x from this one right here times x minus 8 times x plus 3. All right, let's do the same thinking for the bottom. I also noticed that they all have an x, so let's undo the distributive property and factor out an x. So if I were to do an area model, I want to know what numbers multiply to negative 72, and that these ones would combine to just 1. So x and x is x squared. I know that 9 and 8 work together to make 72, so I'm going to make it a positive 9 and a negative 8. So 9x minus 8x, in fact, adds up to 1, and 9 times negative 8, in fact, multiplies to negative 72. So x plus 9 is one factor, x minus 8 is the other. Just like over here, I looked for things that reduce to 1. I'm looking for factors that reduce to 1. I see it right here, x divided by x is 1, and I see it right here, x minus 8 divided by x minus 8 is 1. So all I'm left with in the numerator is 1 times x plus 3, which is just x plus 3. And in the denominator, I'm left with 1 times x plus 9, which is just x plus 9. So x plus 3 over x plus 9 is just a way faster, simpler way of saying this expression right here. Bye.